So welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to my show. If you're new here, my name is Mitchell, and today I'll be talking about a relationship is there to amplify who you are. I do these YouTube lives every Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time, Saturdays at 12 p.m. Saturdays at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. And if you guys do find this video content of value, you guys could show your appreciation by donating any amount that you feel is equal to the value of this video. Details will be in the description. And so today, a relationship is there to amplify who you are. And before I get started, I will always have a recap episode. And the recap episode I chose was Ignoring Your Inner Truth, which was my last live that I did prior. So Linda. But so I want to talk about this because most people, sup darling, Chev, hello. Most people they get into a relationship to find a solution, and you can't ever go into a relationship trying to find a solution. And if you're not sure where you're at, you really have to spend some time to listen to yourself. And here's also another big and. If you're in a relationship already, sup Brenda, hello. If you're in a relationship already, you want to make sure that you're going to be improving yourself. What's up, Bree? Hello. You want to make sure you're improving yourself consistently, constantly, because you never want to stay stagnant. If you stay stagnant, you'll be left behind, right? And I've already talked about the life 3 influences, which is the one that pulls you into the past. So we all know those people that love talking about the past and they stay in the past. And then there's one that pulls you to the side, right? Which is what we call distractions. So pulls you in the past, that's one influence. Another one's pulls you to the side, distractions. And we have plenty of that, right? We go back home, we have Netflix, your phone, there's all these apps, right? And so I even personally try to minimize some of the apps that I download. But, I have a few that I play. Like I play Cookie Run Kingdom, okay, fun fact. And yeah, like I tend not to distract myself from what I want to do, which is my mission, my focus, my purpose. And my mission and purpose is to help people like you that's watching, because you're here for a reason, and you want to be here because you want to become more than you are, and you want to become a better person. And you know what? You got nobody else to thank but yourself. So I want you to give yourself a little clap, round of applause for that. But now, let's go and talk about the recap episode of Ignoring Your Inner Truth. And the slide is on conflicts, and it's because it conflicts with our reality. What are the things you do when you are down? I will answer that. I have a few things that we'll be talking about today, but I will get right into your question right after this, okay? But let's see. So it conflicts with our reality. And what I mean by that is, you ever tell yourself something, but you don't honestly believe it in yourself? And then you constantly tell yourself like, hey, I'm better than this. You deserve more. Or I'm worth more. But then deep down, you don't believe in that. And it conflicts with our reality. And so when you lie to yourself, you're putting yourself in a situation where you can't really run away from that, because you just didn't want to lose face, right? You don't want to embarrass yourself in front of your friends, or even embarrass yourself. Nobody wants to face their own failures. And you know what? I encourage you to freaking fail, because the more you do, the better you become at it, right? Before I did this, I was terrified about doing lives. I was terrified. But the more you do it, the more fun, right? The more easygoing that it could become. And you just naturally get better at it. But going back to about lying to yourself, it's think of it in a form like this. When was the last time someone lied to you? And when they did, how did that make you feel? You didn't like that feeling, right? But now you have one or two options. You could either try to have revenge, or you let it go, right? Those are the one or two options. That's something that you could do to another person. But what happens when you lie to yourself? You got nowhere else to run. And then the only way to get out of that is to face the truth. And if you don't face the truth, eventually it's going to eat you up alive inside. And that's how you build resentment. That's how the whole fake it till you make it. If you're not good at it, just become better. Okay. My downtime things though, Brenda. I love learning. I love learning. I love reading books, hearing, listening to audiobooks. So that's something that I've been doing a lot recently. So that's where it got me to where I am today, right? And I really do appreciate you guys always giving me a lot of time and a lot of love, a lot of effort, because not easy, right? Like I said, you could be easily watching another hour of something else, but you here with me, so thank you. Um, let's see. So the Fyodor Dostoevsky quote that I love so much, which I wish I could remember, but it's a long one. So a man who lies to himself and believes his own lies becomes unable to recognize truth, either in himself or in anyone else, and he ends up losing respect for himself and for others. When he has no respect for anyone, he can no longer love, and in him he yields to impulses, indulges in the lowest form of pleasure, and behaves in the end like an animal satisfying his vice. And it all comes from lying to others and yourself. So, a really big takeaway from that is, okay, just look at your friend group, or look at your immediate family. Like, are there people out there that tries to, hey, yo, it's Saturday, like, yeah, we got to do something, right? So they go out as a little as a getaway for a solution to some of the to relieve some of the tension that they're having. And I'm not against that, but if you consistently do that, you're addicted, and so you rely on that to relieve tension. So what happens when it's not there? Now imagine you could relieve your own tension, and when you go out, you automatically have a good time. You're going to be better company with people. People is going to be around you and they like your company. And they'd be like, hey, yo, Mitchell, come out with us. We want you there, right? Or whoever, right? We want you there because you are good company and I like your company. And that's, go where you're celebrated, not where you tolerate it. But how are you going to be celebrated if you ain't shit? All right. So do something about your life if you're not. And if you don't know where to start by reflecting on some of the things that you have for yourself. You're awesome, Mitchell. Thank you, Connie. Appreciate it. Everything's going well. Yeah. See, so nothing is more true than what you consistently tell yourself, right? And just because you don't say it, it doesn't mean it's not in your mind. So it's in your subconscious. It's consistently there. And that's how you're going to operate. And that's what you're going to attract. And what I mean by that is how your demeanor, the way you walk, the way you say things, like you could fake what you say, but you cannot fake your body language. And even if you do, it's like, like walk up, shoulders back, talk hella high, but you have this fake ass smile. Ain't nobody, it'd be like, yo, that person's weird. And of course it's gonna bring you down because nothing was real to begin with. So be you, but if you're not where you're at, become better. And just, allow yourself time because it's going to take time for you to become better. Okay? So your mind will act consistently, or will react and act consistently to how you view yourself. And so, like I said, with the life distractions, a lot of people try to distract themselves, numbing themselves, right? And that's kind of a numbing themselves until it doesn't bubble up to the surface. But eventually, it's going to reveal, because when life throws a curveball at you and it pressures you a little bit, that's when you kind of explode, right? And and how you explode and how you handle your emotions, that's exactly how you view yourself. Because if a person that truly love and value themselves, they're not going to be doing all that. They're not just going to yell at somebody. You know what I mean? I'm scared to be in a relationship. It's just too much for me. There's a lot to put into a relationship. Most people should not be in a relationship until they are better themselves. And that's the absolute truth. I don't know. And it's not something that a lot of people want to hear, because it's like, what makes you think your misery is going to go away when you bring it to their life, right? What we call baggage, right? And baggage isn't just having things that's like left over, but baggage as in like you got a lot of mental shit that you got to unload. And if you don't know how to unload it, how are you going to move forward? You're going to have a lot of resistance holding you back. And how you're not gonna be good company for another person. And like I said, when the excitement goes down, what do you expect? It's not gonna go back up because you're miserable. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're always being upset, you're the common denominator. Why is it the people, right? So let me talk about my first slide, all right, which is it's a self-reflection, not a solution. Okay, so in a relationship is there to amplify who you already are. Okay, so in my previous episode, you guys kind of already heard about this already, but Mitchell's gonna dive a little bit deeper into it. But it's a self-reflection. It's not a solution to a problem. When you go into a relationship, you're not there to relieve yourself out of the misery that you're at. Okay, because like I said, once the excitement goes down from the relationship, eventually your character is going to be revealed. And once it's revealed, they're gonna see all your true colors, right? It's like, oh, the true colors is finally showing. It's because they hated themselves. They treated themselves like shit, and they consistently lied to themselves. What makes you think you're gonna get good results, right? It's like the ingredients that you're pouring in. So that's why I was like, yo, your environment's huge. What you pour into your mental factory, Jim Rohn, what you pour into your mental factory is a huge factor on who you become. So if you find yourself listening to the news, building anxiety, right? You're like, ooh, anxious, right? And being anxious is you thinking too much in the future or too much in the past, and you can't really focus on the present. And when you're stuck in that situation, it's so hard to pull yourself away from it. You know what I mean? So, but let's get deeper into this, which is, it's a self-reflection, not a solution. And so many find themselves unhappy, thinking that someone else will fix their unhappiness. But you have to look back to, is it the things that you're doing, things you're not doing that you want to do, but maybe someone is, holding you back, like, oh, you shouldn't do that because blah, 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 blah. Like, you should be, I don't know, making more money, or you should be like doing that doesn't make you money. So, because, hey, the world is full of people with their own opinions. Why can't you have your own? Why can't you have your own? Oh, because it doesn't conform to their mentality? That's your life to live, not theirs. So really, now, if you regret it, that's still on you, but you at least get to learn from it. If it was someone else's choice and they pressured you into it, you're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it. So, and yeah, resentment. So another one is, are you emotionally regulated? Do you control your emotions, or do you find yourself just blowing up on another person because you don't know how to control your anger, right? No, like, I used to think that being masculine meant that, oh, I'm going to be the loudest guy. I'm gonna scare the hell of this person by using this loud ass mouth to make them scared, so then they know what's up. Now, I get it when it comes down to, like, yo, if my life is in danger, then yeah, I can understand that. I want to live. I want to make sure I'm alive. But if I'm not being in any physical harm, then do I really need to be that mad? Do I really? Right? Because, being mad, behind anger is fear. And whatever you're fearing, hey, that's something that's up to you to decide and figure out, right? I haven't been in a relationship for a very long time. I was about to date someone in college, but it turns out that she wasn't a good person. Well, that's good. That's good on you. That's good on you for figuring that out, right? So you save yourself from a situation where it could have gotten even worse. Terrible things. Yeah, it's like I decided not to talk to her anymore. Okay. If you don't want to share your personal story, just, keep it to yourself, or, talk to me. I got you. But if you do, right here, people, it's a safe place. All right. So let's see. If you find yourself unhappy, right, someone else is not going to fix your problems, and it's because of maybe there could be so many factors, right? Things you're doing, things you're not doing. You don't emotionally regulate yourself. People you hang out with, things you're not doing could be like, I always wanted to draw, but then every time I draw, I get criticized because it doesn't make me money, or stuff like that, right? I was told once, personal story. So I got really, really lucky, and I got super excited. I was so happy that Neo, my man, Neo, he saw like my enthusiasm. Like I bought all his CDs. He was like, anyone that posted it up is automatically raffled into this raffle, and if you win, you will get a direct message from me. And yeah, and I got a direct message, and he was like, here's your ticket to come see me directly at Disneyland. So I was super happy, super excited, and I was like, yeah, I can't wait to go. But I was like, man, it kind of conflicts with my finals, like. But I was like, do I just, this is a once in a lifetime thing, and I get it. A final is important, but not every day do I get to just meet Neo like that. And I'm not talking about no VIP. I'm talking about meeting Neo, getting, um, and I was just told, and I couldn't share my excitement with this person, and this person kind of like just brought all the energy down. And then it's like, oh, you're not gonna make any money from doing this. And I was just so bent out of shape because of that. Now, could I have acted better? Absolutely. I should have just knew what I want and go for it. But then again, I don't wanna be somewhere where I'm always consistently being criticized, constantly being told that, like, oh, you shouldn't do this, like. And it's like, no, this is what I want, this is what I like, right? I mean, look behind me, I got decked out in Pokemon, right? Like, that's who I am, that's what I like. And so if you know who you are, so that's me. Like, I know what I like, I go for it without any explanation now. But if you're consistently around someone like that, like, it's just not going to be fun. It's not going to be an easy, effortless any relationship. It could be friendship, family, intimate relation. That's not fun. So love is easy. Love is playful and fun. It's easy, it's light. And yeah, if you don't get that, I mean, then why you want to be around that person? So that's why it's important to align yourself with with like-minded people that understands you, that accepts you for who you are genuinely. Okay. Let's see. So talked about the whole honeymoon phase when it simmers down. What's up, Joe? Welcome. I felt like you just made an account. But yeah, so hey, let me fill you in. It's a self-reflection, not a solution. So that's a slide that I'm talking about. And so because eventually the honeymoon phase will simmer down, and once it does, you won't have your head always above the clouds. That's not what's gonna happen. You're not gonna have your head above the clouds all the time. And so what happens then? When that excitement is not all like lovey-dovey anymore, right? And that's when life really starts to test you a little bit. It starts to pressure you, right? And I gave the example of what happens when you squeeze a lemon and what happens when you squeeze an orange, right? When you squeeze a lemon, you get some juice, lemon juice. And when you squeeze an orange, you get some orange juice, right? If you get any other juice, it's not that fruit. But what I'm saying is, when life pressures you and it squeezes you, what comes out? What comes out? Do you get mad? Do you just blow up? Do you just start yelling at people? Or are you more calm? Are you more solution oriented? Do you focus on a solution? Yes, I'm totally aware of a problem that needs to be done over here. But focusing on a problem isn't going to solve shit. So let me focus over here, even though I have some emotions. I'm not feeling too well, right? Okay, I'm not feeling too well. Okay, well, how do I get back into feeling a little bit better? Well, let's not focus on a problem too much. Let's just do something, right? Maybe drink a glass of water. I don't know, if you're a dude, go grab a beer, whatever cools you down a little bit in the meantime, so that you can find yourself regaining that center back again. And once you do, you go focus on a solution. And when you focus on a solution, not only do you become better at it, you're more confident, and then you're more competent. Okay. And the book on how to win friends and influence people by Dale Carnegie, inaction breeds fear and doubt. Taking action breeds confidence and courage. So if you find yourself in a situation and you're not great at it, well, do more. Just do more. Fail, do more, right? But don't repeat the same thing. Okay? Obviously, you want to do something that yields results. And if you do mess up from time to time, you made the same mistake, oh well, it's okay. You're human, just like me. Okay? We're all human here, I hope. But so there's that, so what happens when life squeezes you, right? No one can protect you from how you expel your frustration. So if that's how you are, that's how you're going to blow up. That's how you're going to be judged. Look, people don't want to be around those type of people. Okay, it's just not, it's not good company. And if you're not good company, you're not gonna have good people around you. So, and how you react will be how others view you. And, one, you got to keep yourself accountable, emotionally anchored, and it will permeate. I think that's a biology word, right? Permeate. Basically, it's going to bleed into other areas of your life. So, if you're calm in a relationship, you're going to be more calm in a work setting. You're going to be more calm in things when you be like, okay, let's just focus on the solution now. Let's do this. So you're gonna find yourself consistently being better at it, and you're gonna just knock things out. You're like, and then if you get a little bit of a hiccup, you're like, I've done this before. I have a little bit of an obstacle that I need to get over, but I know I could get out of this. Why? Because you've done it before. You've done it before. But if you haven't done it, obviously it's gonna build a lot of anxiety. Oh my God, I don't know what to do, because you haven't educated yourself. And if you haven't educated, well, trial and error. And if you mess up, it's not the end of the world. It's not. Are you still here? You're still alive, right? Okay, then you got another chance. So it's all good. So, yeah, that's what happens when life squeezes you, right? And how you act and how you talk, your demeanor, your view, that's gonna change. And I love this quote. When you see with your eyes, you see things, but you see with your mind, you see answers. And when you start educating yourself and you allow yourself to grow, you're gonna start seeing things a whole lot different, right? And it's like, you can still do all the things that you love, still do that, keep that up. But on top of that, find time for yourself to grow. That's how you're gonna connect with better people, with better company. And then you no longer spend the time with people that treats you like that, right? If they treating you like shit, you're no longer going to be with those type of people, because you're not that type of person no more. All right. So if you go into the relationship to cure something that you're missing, and you don't have anything to fix yourself and your own faults, eventually others will see right through it, right? You're like, oh, I need a boyfriend or a girlfriend in my life to be happy. Well, guess what? Happiness is now a moving target. And anything they do that makes you upset, you're going to find yourself upset a lot, okay? And you got no one else to blame but yourself. And this is why you're here. This is why you're watching this. It's self-reliance. This is how you could improve and help yourself. Others will try to hide it. And they will hide who they are with and what they got. Just remember, who you become at the end of the day is more important than what you get. Who you become is more important than what you get, because that's your character, and character is destiny. And when I talked about charm and charisma, and charisma requires the presence of another person, whereas your character, you could be anywhere in the world. Okay, you could be deserted in an island, you could be stuck in the woods, lost, and you can still find your way out, because that's how you are. That's your character. And you've done it enough, you could get yourself out of a situation, or any situation. Okay. Next one. If you're looking for answers, right, your partner will not have it. I don't know how else to put it, right? Your partner will not have answers for you. Though they could suggest a direction, right? Hey, maybe you could do this. But what if your partner have never experienced something like this? How do you process this? Well, I don't know. I'm stuck. Well, my partner doesn't know. I don't know, because I don't know if there's books or not, right? There's some people that is totally oblivious or unaware that advice like this are out there. And if you're stuck, like, that's why most people get angry, is because they don't know, they're not getting what they want. And it's usually because of a lack of a plan or a lacking of an idea, because they don't know. And what you don't know will hurt you sometimes. Okay. You're not there to change them. Okay. You can't change a person in a relationship. And okay, you're there to accept them for who they are. And if you can't, just leave. It's simple, but it's not easy. Okay. But just think of it like this, having success is doing something very simple extraordinarily well. Okay. Doing something simple extraordinarily well. Look at someone that's really good on TED Talk. Like, I'm almost envious of them to some degree. I'm like, wow, like the way you you put your story and how enticing those words are. Like, I'm still learning from them. I'm still learning, but like, it is simple. Like, they just using words in different order, different tone, different I don't know, cadence, right? But it's doing something very simple extraordinarily well. So like, think of it like this. If you found out, if you're in a relationship and that person did something that violates your trust, you're just gonna be like, well, it's something simple, right? By leaving them because they did something that violates your trust. Maybe they cheated on you or whatever. It's simple, but most people can't do that, right? They're like, oh, I can't leave. Why? They're the best thing I ever had for now, until I find someone better so I could bridge along something, right? Let's bridge along this gap. But when you need to do something like that and you need to bridge along something, it means that you're not good enough. You don't, deep down, you really don't believe in yourself. So if someone cheats on me and I'm in a relationship, I'm gone. I don't care how long I'm single, because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I'm okay. If I'm okay, then I can share that. If I'm not, I can't give what I don't have. So how am I going to share it? All right. So, and the reason why you might want to change someone, and I think I spoke about this a little bit earlier too, which is the reason why you may want to change someone is because you have some insecurities that you have not let go in the past. And a lot of this could be traced back to some of your childhood. And it's easier to point out blind spots. And so that's why I was like, hey, instead of just pointing out someone's blind spots, and that's what I loved about Julian when he was talking about this, Julian himself, or Julian Blanc, he said, do an audit on yourself. Point out flaws on other people and then flip that mirror back on you and then see from that angle and see if there's something that you could gain from that. Like, okay, this person does this. Can you do it better? Without, pointing it out. But this is so that for your own personal self-growth. So it's like, wow, okay. Okay, they have some flaws there. I see it on them, but I'm not quick to judge and criticize, but I'm quick to criticize my own self and figure out, hey, do I have those flaws? And if I do, how do I fix that? And then if it helps you, then if they need help, then you can help them. You see how it works? Life is full of surprises, but it could be, your onset insecurities that you may have and your blind spots. Feeling inadequate and unworthy. One of the biggest fears, and the second one is, we don't feel loved, because that's a huge one. The reason why you don't feel like you can find love or be loved is because you don't believe in yourself. Because if you have value, and I'm not talking about monetary value, okay? It doesn't take much from how much you have in your head and what it reflects on your bank account. Now, you might not be where you want to be, but you have a lot of potential, because if you start to educate yourself and you start applying it, things will just naturally come. Okay. And that's what I'm inspired to be, because I've heard so many great stories from people that they were like, I had no money. I was from New York and I moved over here and I wanted to start a business on my own, but everybody made fun of me. They said all these things, and they were like, and they had pretty decent jobs, but then, years down the line, guess what happened? They're still at the same job. They're probably getting paid the same. They're miserable at it, and they hate life. What kind of person? I don't want to hang out with that person. But this person really took the chance, believed in what they worked on. They wanted to do this, so they came. They made themselves a goal. They gave themselves an aim, and they went for it. That is fucking hot. Okay. And I'm talking about hot as in, look, I'm not like, that for it, but I want that for myself. That's what I want. And I'm driven to have that, but it's not from motivation, because like I said, motivation is a lot of push. I can't rely on motivation, but what I can rely on is something that keeps me up late at night, and something that I don't feel burnt out neither, but something that keeps me up late at night. And the first thing I think about when I wake up, and it's like, it's my mission, my drive, my purpose. This is what I want to do. And, I've been doing this for some time, and, like I said, thank you for always being here, right? You know who you are. But that's part of not loving yourself, or you're not being loved, it's because you probably don't love yourself first. That's why there's a lot of insecurities. And just feeling inadequate is because you haven't done anything enough long enough, and to fail enough, like learn how to fail, keep failing, be bad at it so that you don't make those mistakes again. And if you do, okay, well, how do I prevent myself from making those same mistakes? So you got to ask yourself good quality questions. Sound like a broken record, but the questions you ask yourself is in direct proportion to the quality of your life that you have, right? That's the quality of questions you consistently ask yourself, is the quality of your life, basically. So you ask yourself bad questions. There's no such thing as a bad question. Well, sometimes there are better ones, okay? And if you ask yourself good questions, then you yield to better results in the end. But a lot of what is being taught in this age, and even before too, which is, you hear a lot of guys, right? I'm not gonna say who, but I'm just gonna say the group of people, which is like the red pill community, which I don't really agree with. Okay, everybody has their own opinion. I'm not gonna point anyone out, but it's it what they do, what they give, they don't give solutions. They point fingers at other people, saying that it's their fault and this is why and this is how you could take advantage of that, and it doesn't really give you a solution. Like, here's an example. Women with, like, ladies or people, or ladies, women with kids are a red flag. It's like, no, that is not a red flag. A red flag is if she puts that baby on you and it's like, no, you gotta do all this, and that's baggage, right? It's like, well, that's not my responsibility. But at the same time, I understand that if I were to be with you, that yeah, that kid's gonna be a part of this family, and if I want to stay, that kid's gonna be part of my family. But to say that all women are like that, that you're not really giving yourself a solution. You're just blaming on them. You're like, and then you just like, let me just pick out the best one from the group, and more than likely they're more inclined to pick the younger ones, right? And when they pick the younger ones, it's like, oh, and then they find themselves breaking up and sleeping, like, but that's majority of that. They don't find themselves giving solutions. They just put the blame and absolve themselves from the responsibilities, and that doesn't really do anything. I get it, you get what you want, right? If you're a guy and that's what you want, you just want to put that lady in the bed and then do what you got to do and then just call it quits at the end of it. Like, no wonder you get a whole bunch of pissed off people in the world, right? But if we learn to understand each other, it's like, well, this person treats me well, so why would I give more shit to this person? If they come home, I know that person has a long day at work. That a kind thing that I could do is maybe make him or her some food, right? Hey, they had a long day. Hey, I set the bath water ready for you or something, and then they reciprocate that. It's like, that's love. That's love. Love is allowing, right? And you're not pressuring them. You're not forcing them to do something that they don't want to do. And so that's why it's like, that's more of a solution. And love is light. Love is an act. Love is playful and fun. And it requires more work, though. Don't get me wrong. This requires a lot. And even to this day, I feel like I could be better at doing things like this. But I want to consistently tell myself this so that it becomes second nature. It just, oh, this will happen. Oh, just do this. Just do this, Mitchell. And so I want to be a good person. I want to become the best person that I could be, so that whoever I'm with, they will experience that. And if they could reciprocate with the same enthusiasm and the same excitement, then yeah, I want to spend my entire life with this person, because we deserve each other. We deserve each other. Okay. I don't know, that was got a little emotional in there. But that's what I want, right? That's what I want. And if they can't offer me that, then it's okay. I'll walk away. Okay. But it's absolving yourself from the problem. It doesn't really solve anything. But yeah, the reason why you're in that situation is because you're attracted to that type of person. You allowed that person in your life, whether it's attraction through choice or attraction. Well, a choice. Attraction isn't a choice, but you attracted that person and you allowed them in. That's it. Bottom line, you allowed them because you're that type of person. And what I mean by that is, I said it earlier, but I blow things out of proportions before. That's what I did. I got angry, got flustered, and no girl wants to be with a guy like this. It's like, yo, he's a bitch. If you act like a bitch, she's gonna treat you like a bitch. And um, I don't care what these new Gen, is it Gen Z? Gen, whatever people, new kids. They're like, oh yeah, girls are different now. They love texting. They no, shut up. No. The phone is for setting dates. All right. The phone is for setting dates. It's not to get to know somebody. It's a tool. Just like a screwdriver, you use that tool, okay? You don't use it for everything else other than, hey, maybe unscrewing some screws, right? Unless whatever. But some people take it to the extreme. They're like, oh, I want to get to know this person. Yeah. Nah, it ruins their excitement. But that's part of attraction. Anyways, that's a different topic. But I used to get mad. I used to blow things out of proportion, right? Now, I don't do that as much. And if I do find myself angry, then I'm just like, okay, let me hold myself back, because I wouldn't want to be around that person if that was me. So what makes you think other people want to be around that? So yeah, I don't want to be around that. So Mitchell, you gotta control yourself. So then once I learned that, and prior to that, I used to date people like that too, and I thought it was normal. It becomes normalized. Like, oh, that person gets mad, I get mad, we just hug it out and it will be fine. Like, nah, no, it's not. Nah, that's not a good relationship. Not, at least to me. Some people think it is, but to me it's not. And now I just want to be with someone that's very calm, that does not have a temper, that communicates when things don't go their way. And that's fine. I'm always down to listen. I don't always have to agree with you. We can have disagreements, but men who understands women don't argue with them. And that's a hard pill to swallow for most people. What do you mean you don't argue? All right, whatever. Okay, women then, all right? But men who understand women, they don't argue with them. Let's see. I saw this quote, or this line, or little phrase. Now, it's a quote. But I thought it was interesting when it says, I don't have a title for this, but it said, asking you to ditch your friends for her is not a reasonable demand. Okay, let me read that again. Asking her to ditch your friends. Wait, asking you. Oh, so if she asked me to ditch my friends for her, it's not a reasonable demand. Okay, if she's like, no, I don't want you to hang out with your friends, I want you to hang out with me, that is not a reasonable demand. Okay, asking you to stop ditching her for your friends is. And it really threw me into a spiral, because I was like, wait, what? I'm getting confused myself. But before I got it, I don't know how to explain it. So this is my mistake. This is on me. Asking, maybe you guys can help. Shoot. All right, asking. So she asked me to ditch friends for her. Ditch. I'm gonna pass on this. All right, this is on me. Yeah. So don't. Okay, let me move on. Mitch was moving on. I'm confusing myself. And once I get this down, I'll come back with a better mindset. All right. All right. So don't be in a relationship that suppresses your inner truth. Okay. Don't be in a relationship that suppresses you from who you want to be and who you want to become. Don't do that, because it's not going to be honest with you. It's going to build, like I said this many times, it's going to build resentment. You're not going to be good company around people that it's like, oh, every time I want to do this, you don't allow me. And it's like, you're taking away my freedom. Nobody wants to be trapped, right? And I love this quote, which is where it's couples who laugh together stay together. Couples who laugh together stay together. Right? It's no secret, because love is light, it's playful, it's fun, and it's about having a good time. You take yourself serious, but you don't take that relationship too serious. You're like, baby, what you mean? It's okay. All right. You hungry? Okay, you sound hungry, right? And if she constantly throw attitude with you, then you're just gonna be, oh, you're the guy. You'd be like, it seems like you had a long day. I'm just gonna let you do what you gotta do. And when you want to talk to me and communicate like an adult, then we'll talk. But right now, I'm not gonna tolerate this, because it's not like we both know better. We both know better, and that's not who I want. Like, I want to be with you, I really do. But if I can't communicate with you if you just yelling at me, So I'm gonna go, and we're gonna talk later, okay? No, yeah. That just get out. She could be mad. She'll cool down, and when she cools down, then y'all talk. And if you find yourself in a situation where you can't talk, well, guess what? Maybe that's not the best relationship for you. If you are a person that wants to communicate and they don't, all right. Let's see. If you have, okay, so this blew my mind a little bit when I was doing some research. Right, I can't believe I didn't figure this out before. But you want to be with someone that you could share your excitement with. I get the whole that excites you. But if it's like things that you want to talk about that excites you, like, maybe a new Pokemon set or something, right? Hey, babe, like there's this new Pokemon that's came out, like I can't wait, right? And I don't expect her to like Pokemon, right? But if she could share it with me, then it's like, oh, even better, right? But someone that supports what you want to do, right? That doesn't like dumb down your excitement because they think it's goofy, or they think it's too nerdy, or it's you're being a kid, right? It's like, no, everybody has a little bit of kid in them, I think. And if you take your life too serious, then it's like, who could have fun? And most people, they're in a relationship and they settle. And when they settle, you're not, no one's happy, right? Think about settling down into a job that you hate. People around there, they're miserable. Once you go in there, the energy just draws away and you're just like shit. And you're stuck. And you feel like you can't leave, right? So having someone that you could share excitement with, that excites you and that you could share it, same enthusiasm, it's like, and you have the same core values, beliefs, you have to, you share similar goals. Those are people that do not come easily. And especially if they're emotionally anchored and they don't get mad easily, then it's like, why would you want to leave that person? Buy Kiki a burrito, hell yeah. And once you get Chevlin, you know too much. All right, but yeah, hell yeah, I love burritos. I want a burrito now. But once you give it to her, burrito, see the smile on her face. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, give her time. Give her time, give yourself time. Because, distance makes the heart grow fonder. Okay? It's a cliche, but it's like a tension in a string, right? Once you pull on it, it builds tension. Tension is what builds attraction. But you don't want to rely on that too much. Like, oh, if she does it, what I teach isn't a game, okay? It might seem like it is, but look, if you're not going to give me time, why would I want to give you my time? We want to reciprocate, right? If you don't give me anything in return, it's like, well, I don't want to keep... do you want to keep dishing out money into this video game that only eats your quarter all the time? Back in the days when there was arcades, okay? And you just feed quarters and you just eat your quarter, but they don't give you any credit on the game. You're not going to keep playing that, right? So why would you invest all your money or your time into a person that does not reciprocate, right? And I see people that stands there like, oh, one day it will accept my quarter, like, yeah, and you just lost like $15, but you're still putting it in because you're like, it will work, and maybe it does for a little bit, and then what happens? I don't know. Let's give you a scenario: the game shuts off, or the power goes out, right? And it's like, well, okay, and a lot of people, they find themselves in a relationship that they're settling, they're not happy, and then once they felt like they had enough, then they leave. It's like, then they're like, oh, this person made me do this. Like, take some ownership in that. You stayed. You got no one else to blame. You stayed. Why didn't you leave? That's up to you. You got to decide on that. And if you keep pointing fingers, you will never learn. You never learn. Okay? But anyways, share things that they could share, like the same level of authentic enthusiasm, right? Life is worth way more than dealing with people you don't truly enjoy spending your time with. I'd much rather spend that time on my own. That doesn't support you, but suppress you. That tells you like, yeah, that's kind of stupid. And anyone that says Pokemon is bad, nah, I like it too much. Oh, you choose me over Pokemon? Hell yeah. Yeah, because that's what I like. I'm not gonna suppress who I am just because you got a pretty face or whatever. Nah, I'm keeping my toys. I'm keeping this Charizard. Y'all already know I love Charizard. I'm keeping that. Yeah, well, and then of course it's easy when you go outside and be like, "Oh, Mitchell chose Charizard." Oh, no, you're going against what I really enjoy. Okay, you criticize me. You say a lot of things, right? It's not good. Like, what did Pokemon ever do to you? Right? Did it take away too much time? And if it did, why didn't you communicate that? Okay, if it took away too much time, okay, that's where communication comes from. If you don't communicate, I'm not X-Men. I'm not Xavier. I can't figure shit out on my own. Okay, not like that. I could assume, but you just let me know. Oh, but if I let you know, you truly don't want it. Yeah, but also you expect me to be a mind reader, which I'm not. Okay. Yeah. So communicate with me, please. You think it's funny, but it's true. People think that, oh, if I have to tell him to buy me flowers, he don't really love me. It's like, no, he don't know what kind of, like, for real. Like, now, if you mention it to him, hey, it would be really nice. Like, wouldn't it be so much more enticing to just kind of like, you know what I love most? What is it, baby? I love it when I see like some flowers from time to time. Oh, okay. What kind of flowers do you like? Sunflowers. Okay. You like sunflowers. Okay. Lilies. Okay. Whatever flower that you like, right? Daisies, I don't know. And it's like you're gently nudging them. You're kind of leading them to what your love language is, right? Hey, you love that, right? Now, if you keep that, I feel like that is a reasonable demand, right? But let's just say you're a materialistic person and they're not, and they don't really have funds like that. But they'd be like, you know what, be nice, like a new LV bag. It's like, okay, he really can't afford it, and you want it from him, but he can't afford it, but he does it anyways. Chocolate rather than flowers, right? And then it's like he's going broke, and then he's like, I bought her all the shit. She don't appreciate it. She just ended up with another guy that's more rich. Well, then it's on that guy, and it's like, well, why do you stay with this person? Well, you got bamboozled. You just got bamboozled. So it's like basically take ownership of what happened to you. That's it. Just keep it at that. Take ownership. Most people can do that because it hurts. It hurts. It sucks. All right. So ignoring your emotional needs is enslaving. Oh, this is where it gets juicy. Okay. So I was reading this book by Chris Canwell, and he talked about, and this is all from him. Okay, I don't want to share it with you guys. He said ignoring your emotional needs is enslaving, right? You're enslaving yourself, and dealing with emotional vampires, it drains you from your energy, your time, and your emotions. And I really had to like kind of sit down and think about like, okay, like I've been around people that drain my energy, that didn't really, it didn't make me excited when I'm around them. Okay, I have those people around. Okay, what's up? What's going on? And then so ignoring those emotional needs for yourself, and on top of that, being around those type of people, and how you could sense that is, you'll know you're being emotionally drained from your energy, your time, and your emotions when you feel tired in their presence. Like you just feel like, man, like just right. So being in that circle of group, like, fuck, I gotta see them again. Like, but I gotta, like, they're my friends. Like, deep down, you don't really care if you hung out with them or not. But those are your only friends. And so you're like, all right, let me go there. Let me just hang out with them. But you don't feel happy being around them. So you're putting yourself in a situation, setting yourself up for failure. It's not good. And there's this quote that he said that really rung a bell. So emotional vampires are not just, so most people think the emotional vampires is like, oh, I'm just a victim. But the emotional vampire that's sucking away all the energy and all that, they're also the victim themselves too. And hear me out. And this is why I took this direct quote from them, okay? On the surface of the relationship, the enslaved appears to be the only victim in a toxic relationship. Yet, on a very deeper level, the abusive partner, the person that's kind of draining your energy, the abusive partner is also a slave and a victim. So they're enslaving themselves. Slave meaning like they're trapped, right? They can't run away from it. And they're also a victim, and they're a slave themselves. Consider the person who cheats, right? Consider the person who cheats. So the person that's cheating. Now, consider the person who cheats, often unhappy and dissatisfied, and they seek intimacy with someone outside the relationship, while deep down they know they're hurting their partner. But in their mind, leaving the relationship is more hurtful than cheating. So, person that goes out kind of, lacks integrity, that goes out and cheats, like they're slaves themselves. And I'm not saying feel bad for them, okay? But hear me out, right? To the outside world, this is a very selfish behavior. Yet, the cheating partner is also enslaved. They're enslaved in a relationship that makes them feel trapped in that relationship. Though it does not excuse their actions, but it helps you understand why they're self-sabotaging behaviors. So, because instead of communicating of what's missing in a relationship, unfaithful partners searches for escape in the most destructive way possible. And I was like, wow, okay. I didn't think of it like that, because that kind of opened my eyes. It's like, just because that person's cheating, you think that, like, and I'm not saying feel bad for them, like this is why, and it doesn't correct their actions. It doesn't mean that their action was right, but they're slaves themselves. They're enslaving themselves, and they're also a victim because they feel trapped. And by cheating, it feels like it will hurt less than leaving the relationship. And it all comes from not communicating. So it's like, that's why it's like, how do you have a relationship without communicating? And that's huge. So, you know, people that cheats, you really got to think about it. And then, can you forgive them? And when you truly forgive somebody, it means that you let that go. You don't bring it back up. You don't bring it back up. And if you had a partner that cheated on you and you're no longer together, right? Just think of it like that. Like, they were stuck themselves. And it gives you more insight about why they did it. Okay? So it gives you a little bit more of a relief for yourself, so that you don't really think about it no more. You're like, you know what? They're trapped. They have to deal with their own little things inside their head. So let them deal with it. Let them deal with it. It's no longer part of my issue because we're not together no more. And I forgive you for that, because you're trapped. And then guess what? More than likely, they are still trapped in that same cycle that never ends, right? Why? Because you're here and you're learning this. And you get to let it go, and they're not, all right? Unless they are, and they want to become better people. But chances are they're not here, and you are. So you get to grow. You get to grow. Um, Damn. All right. Mitchell been talking a lot, but learn to trust. Last slide. Learn to trust. Thank you. Thank you for staying here. Appreciate it. But learn to trust, because that's why you're in a relationship, right? You're in a relationship because you trust that person. And if you don't trust that person, why are you in a relationship? There would be no relationship without trust. Zero. Okay? And if you find yourself dealing with some insecurities on your own, then you got to deal with that. Okay? Oh, you've been hurt in the past. Well, boo-hoo. Go figure it out. Why are you hurt? Okay? Well, then don't be in a relationship then. Well, I want to be. Why? Well, because I'm lonely. Okay, why are you lonely? Because you don't like your own company and you need another person to kind of be dependent on. Okay, that's called codependency. All right, so the list goes on. The list goes on. And when it starts to cycle down, it boils back down to you. You don't have anything going on for yourself. You don't have anything that's better, so you dependent. And that's why you got it. And it comes across as needy. Nobody wants to be blowing up their phone like that, right? And it's like, you have things that you got to deal with. I know this. I know that as a woman, you get a lot more, especially nowadays, you get a lot of DMs, but it's not the DMs that you want. You want it from that person that you want to be. And it's like, there's not a lot of good quality men out there, right? And it's part of my duty, actually, to not provide, but, make those who want to will learn it, and they will become better. And I hope that message spreads a little bit better, because then eventually, hopefully, they have kids on their own, and when they grow up, they will have a dad, or they will have good parents that will become good role models, and they will become better people. But it all comes from trust. Because if you grow up or grew up in an environment where there was zero trust, mom and dad always yelled at each other, daddy always hit mommy, mommy scratches him, they fight, he's an alcoholic, he drinks a lot, that's how he satisfy, like animal satisfying his vices, and mommy goes out and have affairs with other men, and the whole family falls apart. Of course you're gonna grow up kind of like discombobulated. You're gonna be like, what the hell? Like, this is normal. Mommy cheating. If you're the daughter, you can be like, oh, mommy cheats, so why can't I? Right? But but let's just say you're in this environment. An environment will always trump intentions. If you're in this environment and they're good, that you have this masculine role model, and masculine role model doesn't have to be from your dad. It could also be like a teacher. It could be your not student, your teacher, your, I don't, it could be anybody, your uncle or whatever. Um, and if you have that, then you're going to be in better hands, and then you know how to kind of operate through life. And then you tend to, you choose to operate from a place of strength versus from a place of weakness. And it all stems from trust, right? You got to trust yourself. And if you trust that, hey, you know what, mommy and daddy doesn't have a good relationship. Well, how do I know what's a good relationship? Because I never had that. Well, there are other people that you could find, different role models. I didn't have that. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I didn't have that. I thought those were normal, yelling, screaming, punching, just, and then like not even hugging it out, just be like, hey yo, you hungry? I'm like, dude, you just fucked me up. I don't want to eat with you, right? And I thought that was normal. And it's like, dude, stop being a bitch, like, I love you. I was like, dude, if you truly love me, you wouldn't punch me and fuck me up. But I eat because I'm hungry, so I go. But what I tolerate, I invited more of. So guess what? It happened again, and it happened again. And it wasn't until I was like really down at that rock bottom, at least my rock bottom, right? Everyone has their own rock bottom. That's when I was like, nah, like I had to get out of that situation. And when I did, I was so happy. And that's why I'm here to share that message with you. But you're in a relationship to trust, right? Bottling things up, holding back your love as punishment, being passive aggressive is a very sure way of ruining any relationship. So, yeah, it's I don't know how to explain it. How else to explain it? I think I said enough. I did write this down, which was I had an ex that cheated on me before, and if I decided to just use that insecurity that I had because she cheated on me, and I carry that on into other areas of my relationship, whether it's an intimate relationship, whatever's direct, it's easier, right? If I got cheated on, then my next girlfriend would be, like, oh, she's gonna be a cheater, she's gonna like, then she's gonna look at me like, you don't trust me, so why would I want to be with you? And when she cheats on me, I'm like, see, I told you so. It doesn't solve anything. But I was like, yo, I can't be in a relationship till I'm better. I really can't. And that's when I decided to do this, do this for myself, do this to share the message, the mess become a message. And here I am today, rambling on for an hour, and the end. There was like no build up to no climax. The end. Okay. But yeah, that was it. You got to learn to trust. And if you don't know how to trust, you got to start within yourself. You got to look, really, I can't. And it's difficult. It's simple, but it's not easy. You got to look in yourself. You got to face your own shadows, right? So yeah, that's that today. That's the end of the show. Yeah. Relationship amplifies who you are. So if you are, to take away in this is, if you're in a relationship and you're not happy, well, guess what? You're not going to be happy at the end of the relationship. You're not. But if you're happy and you both are happy and you share something that's great, well, guess what? there's more likely that you are going to be in a better relationship. I'm not saying that that relationship is going to be spectacular. Can there still have hiccups? Absolutely. No, nothing's perfect, but you're setting yourself up for a better relationship, right? So, yeah, there's that. All right, let's see. It hurts especially when you give your all and it wasn't good enough. I know, but you know what, Shevelin? If you gave it your all, then you know you gave it your all. And if they find out, they're like, damn, there's no one better than that because most people can't give them all. Then they're like, they're going to come running back. And you already know. You're like, nah, I don't want this. I don't want this. You had your chance. You had your chance. But it's okay. I don't hate you for that. It's just that I just don't subscribe to that anymore, you know? Awesome topic. I enjoyed it. Thank you, Darlene. Appreciate it. I don't know. I talked about this before, but how do you guys feel about this whole hour? You know, because sometimes, as much as you guys do like it, you know, and I do appreciate your time doing it. Yeah, I really do. But would you guys suggest that I do a shorter one? You know, and I mean that by like just literally those still 2 days, but shorter, not a full hour. Until I have my place set up a little bit, because like I said, it takes me about 20 minutes every time to break down and set up and then break down, you know? And that's, I'm not saying that's an inconvenience. It's just that once you've been doing it for like 2 years, it's like, I really need to find a better solution on how to set these lights and stuff. But yeah, do you guys suggest something shorter, or you don't care? Mitchell, whatever you like, whatever makes you happy. Like, yeah, what is it? Excuse me. Learn to trust yourself again after your trust is broken. Yeah. Because if you don't trust yourself, you will not going to trust anyone else. Yeah, you can't give what you don't have. Joe, thank you for staying. I appreciate you. Joe's new here. We got some new people from TikTok. We got Darlene first. Now we got Joe. So thank you for stopping by, giving me your time. There's something that I learned today. I was listening to JR's talk. He posted a video. You know, what was it? It's not that time is money. If you watched it, let me know. But time is something. I forgot. Oh God, I wish I remember it. That's really hard though. I struggle with that. Welcome, new peeps. I enjoyed the hour. Thank you. I forgot what it was, but it's basically something about time. Like time, you can't get that back ever. You know, so if you're gonna really, that's why whenever I speak to people, if I'm on the phone with you or I'm talking to you, or even when I'm doing like slides like this, I want to always give it my all. And if I can't, I'll let you know. Or I might just not even do it, right? Like the times I get sick from time to time. But yeah, I want to give it my all, because if you think about it, you got to show up at your best. At least try to. And if you're not, let them know. And if they want to stay, they will. And if they don't, that's okay too. But it's about being honest, being transparent about things, because your time that you give, that you spend, you will never get that back. Okay, unless we create this machine, but we don't have it yet. But time, and that's why giving someone your attention, your undivided attention, like phones away, you're not being distracted by anything else, you're not looking at anything else, you giving that person your time is the most valuable thing. And that's how you build good relationships, not just intimate, but just relationships in general. And it's by being authentic too, by really listening. And I feel like listening has been one of those arts that's been gone. Not a lot of people listen. A lot of people are quick to respond about what they want to talk about. And especially guys, they always want to fix problems with ladies. And just in general too. Like, I even have some friends sometimes. I catch myself. I'm like, Mitchell, you're trying to fix a problem. I think they just need to be heard. Right? Even though they're coming to me like, Mitchell, I'm kind of in a tight situation. Can you help me out? I was like, sure. Yeah, what is it? And then I sometimes forget to ask, like, would you like me to listen, or would you like me to give you my opinion? And more, and there be, if you're not sure, ask. And so when I do ask, a lot of times, especially if it's like a friend of mine and she needs help, right? She was like, Mitchell, I just want you to listen. And I was like, okay, all right, you got my ear. Then at least we communicated, right? And so communication isn't just through your relationship, your intimate partner, your whoever. It's through everything that you do. And and like I said, if you become better at it, it permeates, it bleeds into other areas of whatever you do. So everywhere you go, you are who you are. That's your character, and that's destiny, right? Oh, thank you, Shevlin. Thank you. You always give you, yeah, thank you. Well, I try to. But yeah, that's all that I have for today. Is there anything that I can answer for you guys, before I go? um yeah, because I promised somebody, it was one of my friend's birthday, so I want to give them a call after this. But you're so motivational. Oh, thank you. um I learned a lot, and I felt like this is something that I love doing. I love dancing, don't get me wrong. I love dancing, I love playing video games, and I used to be both. But nothing drives me more than seeing that some of you guys or ladies could benefit from this. If you could benefit from this, like, that's what fulfills me. That's what fulfills me. Now imagine I could do this while dancing and playing video games, right? Yeah. But I'll be on Twitch. One day, and I'll be doing that. Give yourself a tap on the shoulder. Good job. Well done. Every time. Thank you. That's pats on back. Pats on back. Yeah. All right. Well, if there's nothing else that I can answer for you guys, thank you for your time. As always, thank you. And I'll catch you guys on the next episode. That will be on Saturday. For Joe, that you're new here, I'll be on Saturday. But thank you for your time, Darlene, Chev, and Joe. Thank you. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, peace. But I know you still have a lot to offer. Yeah.